Hi everyone, this is Sandeep Anand. We all have learned Robert Frost's poem during our school days. The first line that comes to our mind when we hear about this poet, Robert Frost, is, "And miles to go before I sleep." Yes, that was his most celebrated poem, I would say, that's called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. But today, I'm going to bring out another Robert Frost poem, which will give everyone out there probably the most important life lesson and perhaps career advice, especially for youngsters, which we all should try to imbibe in our daily life to achieve success and happiness. I've taken an excerpt from his poem, Two Tramps in Mud Time, which has this important life lesson. Let's go ahead and take a look. So here's an excerpt from the Robert Frost poem, Two Trams in Mud Time. I highlighted in this passage two lines. Take a look. My object in living is to unite my avocation and my vocation, says Robert Frost. And he says, he is targeting to achieve that as two eyes make one in sight, only where love and need are one. And the work is play for mortal stakes. Is the deed ever really done for heaven and the future's sakes? He says, when the work is play and work is fun for the mortal stakes, it's a great place to be in. It's ultimate nirvana. And not many people are lucky to get there, but one should strive to achieve there, to unite a vocation, which is your passion and hobby, and vocation, which is your career and work. And once it is happening, then it's a great place to be in. And let me bring a real life example who exemplified, who lived through this whole concept of work is fun, is none other than Warren Buffett, who lived through almost a century doing what he loves every day. And he says, to multiple questions and interviews on what is the secret of success, he says, quote unquote, I get to do what I like to do every single day of the year. I tap dance to work. And when I get there, I think I'm supposed to lie on my back and paint the ceiling. It's tremendous fun. This was the famous quote unquote that he did. And in fact, there's a book called Tap Dancing to Work written by Carol Loomis on him. Great book. Now, what does tap dancing to work means? I mean, he has been asked to address multiple students in the forums. This repeated advice has been, take the job you would take if you were independently wealthy. You're going to do well at it. A great piece of advice for us as we move to the next year. Many of us should try to unite the vocation and vocation as put by Frost. And let me end the session with a great video from the master himself. Take a look.
No, the important thing, even in your work, I mean, is to an extreme extent, it seems to me, is who you do it with. I mean, you can have, if you're going to spend 8 hours a day working, the most important thing isn't how much money you make. It's how you feel during those 8 hours in terms of the people you're interacting with and how interesting what you're doing is and all of that. Well, I consider myself incredibly lucky in that respect. I can't think of anything I'd rather do, and I can't think of any group of people I'd rather do it with. And if you asked me to trade away a very significant percentage of my net worth, either for some extra years or being able to do during those years what I want to do, I'd do it in a second.